great clubs in English football return to the elite. A man steeped in the cause has guided them there.
That's right, viewers, we have done it. Aston Villa, champions of the Championship, and I think my first notable trophy, like big trophy, of my managerial career, at long last, it must be said. We've had some star performers this season, and we'll focus on them a little later, but let's firstly see what we've done then since we last met. Last time we met, of course, then, it was the two very good results back-to-back. Blackburn and Cardiff both well beaten, and it set us up beautifully for games against Birmingham and Swansea. And Birmingham, as you now know, was the game in which we made the difference and got ourselves that. After that, we basically went on holiday. We basically had a game against Swansea, which was just do whatever you want, and Swansea were like, they're doing whatever they want, and then that was great. And then a 4-1 defeat to Ipswich wasn't particularly impressive away at Portman Road. 1-0 defeat to Barnsley as well, also not particularly impressive. Dylan Chambers going back to his old digs and didn't perform so well. Better against Hull, though. Scored against Hull. And, most recently, a 3-0 win against Preston North End. Setting us up today, then, with a trip to Hillsborough and Sheffield Wednesday. And it's been quite the journey, I think you'll agree, this year. I mentioned it last episode that was really the episode that would dictate if our promotion was going to happen. I'm sorry if I've not shown you like it in detail as a full match, but 1-0 to Birmingham. For a Villa fan, which I'm not, but if you are a Villa fan, I'm sure you quite enjoy the idea of us doing it. Was it at St Andrews or was it at Villa Park? Actually, it was at Villa Park, of course. So, things have gone rather well, viewers. We can hit a total of 98 points today if we get the win against Sheffield Wednesday, whose basically season is done. 60 points for them. They're doing nothing else. Sad news, though. Lincoln, Swansea and Mansfield all relegated. Lincoln return to reunite their derby with Boston. That said, are Boston still in the division? I actually don't know what's going on. And Boston United are 16th, so that's not too bad. The loss of Mikey Fletcher didn't affect them too much. And the teams who are coming down have already almost been decided as well. Bristol City, Sheffield United and Fulham and or Huddersfield look like they'll be the teams to come down eventually. Yeah, it's going to be one of those two, I think. So exciting times, of course. We'll see what happens with the Premier League next season, as we've now made it into there. The battle for the playoffs, by the way, is unbelievably close. Imagine if we were in and around this battle. Crystal Palace, Cardiff, Stoke, Blackburn, Nottingham Forest and Preston. Preston could still, in theory, finish in those automatic spots. Which two teams will join us, but more importantly, which team will join us, and we'll keep a close eye on that. Of course, we'll talk about the players and how they've done for us this year as we continue forward. Gudmundsson has come out of absolutely nowhere to be a star of this season. Again, we'll focus on some of these numbers a little later on. So let's introduce you to the team for the final game of this season. It's De Gard in goal, De Gard, De Gaulle in goal. Morgan will be at right back, Mendy and CS at centre-back, Hurst at left-back. We've got Onoma and Hurtado in the centre with Gudmundsson behind Lemons. We've got Idik, Kozorod, probably, maybe, who knows, and Chambers on the left. And what's really nice about this team, and I think you can see it, if you just look at the team there, you can see the amount of nice links that have come together and the partnerships that have happened all over the pitch, just sort of friendships everywhere. And I've got a friendship with all of them. If my arrow or line would be on them, it'd be like a spider's web, viewers, believe me. So let's get into this game, then we'll see how we get on. I have given a few starts to some players that have not been as pivotal this season. Gareth Hanna has played a little bit more recently, and Ryan Ball is our youngest ever player at 15. Got 6.8. I mean, yeah, well done, mate. And actually, we've got to try and fit it so we can have enough players who are homegrown. And Ryan Ball, we've got to try and get into our system at some point, because sometimes I try and have it and I've not got 7. You need 7 homegrown players in the squad every day, I think, or at least, yeah, I think it is homegrown players every time. You can see that Sheffield Wednesday, I've got a 4-4-2. The man Carlos up front immediately attracts my attention. And the attention's moved on. And then let's see if we can do the happiness and the business as we give the fans something to cheer for, hopefully. All right, then, let's keep an eye out, of course, on this promotion battle that's happening elsewhere. Crystal Palace, Cardiff, Stoke, Blackburn, Nottingham Forest and Preston, all with a chance, all of which will, no, not all of which, in fact, one of them will be automatically promoted, one of them will miss out on promotion as well, and it is all action over there. I might just keep an eye out. Forget our match facts today, by the way, or match facts today, match stats today, but I'll get it out there eventually. Let's look at the latest scores then and see what happens. Preston already losing, so they're already in a little bit of bother. And again, keep your eyes out what's happening over there as De Gard the goal. De Gard's the goal beautifully. A lot of clean sheets towards the back end of the season. They started to perform a little better despite those losses before that. with a lovely little run where he was keeping clean sheets in a little bit of a row. But you can see here, Gudmundsson then. This has been an 11 that stayed with us throughout the course of the season, really. Of course, changed on that left-hand side, but elsewhere, it's been pretty consistent. Gudmundsson, the player we brought in as a bit of a gamble, has nailed down that spot above Hannah and above Riva. And yeah, you may well see why in this game, as you have in some others. As Chambers is coming into a bit of form, Kurzerod goes for goal, and Chambers another one. A lot of people when we signed him doubting whether he was a good signing, but actually in recent times, you saw it when I looked at the fixtures we've had, been scoring goals for fun. So let's see if he progresses and develops next season. Hopefully he will do. Corner for us, Gudmundsson out to Kurzerod, or Erik as we call him, and he shoots wide. So far, Crystal Palace goal difference, keeping them at the moment in second position behind Cardiff. But goals can change everything, viewers, as we well know. It's going to be Sheffield Wednesday who drive forward, though. Lovely little slipped ball forward. Carlos goes for goal. And in recent games, again, you've seen it from those recent fixtures, 2 defeats and a draw. We've basically gone, well, we're champions. So, doesn't matter if we win or lose. Ask me what we are. Are we champions? Yes, we are. So it's sort of fair enough, really, viewers. All right, half-time is nearly upon us, and Crystal Palace are leading now as well, I believe. They are away at somebody. It's good. You wouldn't get this on Sky Sports News. All right, team talk's gone. I'd call it mildly average as we go out for the second half. Hopefully, we can get ourselves the win. To go out on a high would be nice. Yeah, Palace beating Notts County. I do wonder if any of these sides are facing each other. If we just take a little look through. Cardiff playing Stoke. So, yeah, that battle there. Either side takes the lead in that one, and that could make things very interesting indeed, as well as some other places, of course. Anyone else massively involved? Of course, Nottingham Forest are, apparently, but I can't see them. There they are, beating Swansea. So they're going to confirm their spot as well. And Preston, the side currently, who are the only ones to be struggling. As we're into the 73rd minute, you know, and me looking at what's going on elsewhere is becoming more exciting than the game at hand in front of our eyes. Yeah, not much is happening. David Cartwright, by the way, the man... Oh, well, drama. A goal has gone in at Notts County as things are flying by here. Time-wise, viewers, I've paid no attention to this game, and we're going to draw 0-0 unless a late gasp winner for us. Can we have it? Onuma puts it towards goal, but not quite. In Cardiff, out of nowhere, are going to snatch the automatic position. Preston still without a playoff spot, but it looks as if things end as they do there. Cardiff, Crystal Palace dropped even further. Forest went above them, so the tie there might change as well. But you can see a very mundane game, viewers. I didn't even make changes. I got so excited about what was going on elsewhere that this game became just... It was just happening, wasn't it? Unlucky, boys. Wasn't our day. Another draw to end the season. Not perfect. But I think, what's that? Is that 95 points? 96 points for us there. That's quite impressive, isn't it? You've got to say. And, yeah, Cardiff decide to join us. How did that happen late on? Let's take a look there then. Forest won their game, of course, as Notts County scored in the 93rd minute. So they lost their game. Unbelievable stuff. And Cardiff scored three goals in the last 5 minutes, or of course added time as well. But 3-0 winners over Stoke. They did really well. Preston, they're the side that let it get away. A win for them would have seen them on 76 points. They'd have been a top 4 team, but Leeds away from home beat them as, of course, the relegated sides were already down. Although Lincoln beating Norwich 3-0, somewhat surprising. And actually, speaking of Lincoln, while we're here, viewers, let's get to this. A lot of people have been saying, Ben, that Lincoln have got a striker you should absolutely definitely look at to maybe sign Lewis Goff. This is why I'm not going to be doing that. But I understand that we scored a lot of goals this year, and you'll have seen him on a few of the lists, 22 and 45. It's quite impressive. It's a little bit out of the blue, and it's actually, yeah, he was bought for 225k, so that's a pretty good signing for Lincoln. I'm no doubt he'll potentially move on now, especially if they get relegated. Yeah, 3.1 is the fee there, so they might make some money on him after a really good season, but they won't be getting that money from us. So that then wraps up the year. We finished top of the championship table after coming down, of course, at the end of last season. We've done tremendously well to get there as the game saves as well. Weekly saves. This is a reminder for everyone. If you don't have weekly saves on, weekly rolling saves, or 2 weeks rolling saves on, you'll become a cropper, believe me. But yeah, things have gone really well here. Of course they have. And we were unsure for a long period of time if this was going to be the right move for us. After leaving Boston, after getting sacked from Boston, there was obviously a lot of clubs we could have gone to, and I feel vindicated a little bit now, not only because you're enjoying the series element of the save, but as a managerial appointment as well. Villa seemingly made the right choice, and I'm happy to be here too. But the drama of this episode is not quite done yet. A transfer talk takeover, a takeover talk has been happening as well, with our chairman likely to relinquish control to maybe another director, and you can see we're in the process of a board takeover. Of course, because we got promoted as champions, we were told we would get £50 million to spend next year. Whether that changes or not, I don't know. I don't know how the parachute payments work. I don't know if in the second year of the parachute payments, if you bounce straight back up, do you still get the second year parachute payment? I actually don't know the answer to that. I suspect you probably don't, and it gets shared amongst everyone else. But yeah, I don't know how it works. I'm going to continue a little further forward though, beyond the playoffs, so we can look at some of the star performers from this season, and a little bit of good news as well. Lloyd Morgan will be joining us on loan here again next season. I've already tied him down to be here as our right back next year. Fantastic crossing, tackling, marking, very good. Physically, mentally for a 20-year-old is sensational, and I'm sure you're all pleased with this as well. Lloyd Morgan back at Aston Villa for the Premier League campaign. Thank you, Chelsea, for letting me have him. Appreciate that. On the other side of that, Hurtado at Liverpool. That's not going on. We're not getting him. That's they're going to give him a chance, surprisingly, after a phenomenal season. But yeah, we'll go a little bit further ahead, let the playoffs complete, let the league season officially finish, and talk about what you can see on the screen there. A lot of talking there. I feel like there was no pauses. I was just flowing. I'm a broadcaster, viewers. That's why. Sign me up, anyone that wants it. Anyone that wants some broadcast, I'm available. And I will say, viewers, it's bloody hot, isn't it? Let's face it. Having a bright soft box light on, having to shut the curtains and turn the fan off when you record is a nightmare as Consortium plans Villa takeover. I saw a glimpse of that before I click continue. Let's take a look. What was the sitch? Maybe it's about to be completed, although last time it said that, it fell apart immediately. Okay, here it is. Look, there's a consortium. The sad news is it doesn't appear to be the Russian tycoon that was interested last time. If he wants to come along, pump loads of money into the team, that'd be sensational news, viewers. And I'll be preparing our Champions League assault very, very early on. Okay, here we go. Some end of season awards. Now, interestingly, the Aston Villa overall best 11 isn't something that I really care too much about because a lot of the players, of course, weren't here when we first came around to be here. So let's take a look at the end of season awards. That's what matters to me. And unsurprisingly, viewers, Raymond Lemons, when life gives you lemons, lemons gives you goals. 49% in the Player of the Year award. That's massive. Sisto on 27% as well. A player that I will try my utmost to keep around next season after the season he's just had for me in the Championship. 21 goals, 8 assists. You can see why I probably want to keep him. Joshua Onoma gets goal of the year against Reading. Shall we take a quick look at that? Go on, why not? Let's treat ourselves, viewers. Come on, let's live a little. This might have even been a game we played actually on a video. We didn't play the game, but a game we played in a video when he gets it from miles away, and I sort of went, that's bizarre, and it is indeed the goal that has been scored. It's still bizarre now. Raymond Lemon's signing of the season from Ajax, 3.38 million. I think that's probably fair enough. And Goodmanson, Young Player of the Year, he could have gone down a signing of the season as well on a free transfer. We might have to try and renegotiate his contract very quickly so we can get rid of this very awkward-looking minimum release fee. In fact, if we try and do that now, what does he say? He loves it. He wants loads of money, and that's not... No. Okay, we'll just leave it. There will have to be some sort of conclusion at some point, but I don't know when that conclusion is going to be. A few other little bits and pieces as well, of course. The review of the year, not particularly good in the cup competitions, but it was never the focus, was it? And our stadium will be built to a bigger capacity next season as well, so that's exciting too. As our end of season team meeting, we'll discuss the plans. What do you say? I think we definitely want to stay up next year, and yeah, we'll say that. Have a good break, and there'll be some new faces to help us stay up next season. They like that a lot. Everyone's happy, everyone's loving life, and the board are delighted, very pleased in fact with my overall leadership of the team. That will happen when you get promoted. Or apparently some people are disappointed with the performances of Eric on that right hand side. Is that fair? 5 goals, 7 assists? I'm not sure it is. And talking of some attributes then, or some stats at the very least, in terms of minutes played, it goes in sort of in tandem with appearances. 49 appearances, 4,410 minutes for De Gaulle, a mainstay. Jack Hurst is second on that list, a player that a lot of you think that we should potentially move on or at least improve upon in the Premier League next year, which I don't necessarily disagree with. Batista Mendy, the £15.5 million man when he was brought in, has played a lot of football for us. Hurtado, Sisto, Lemons and Morgan not too far behind either. CS as well. I had an injury towards the end of the season but featured an awful lot. Talking of goals then, Raymond Lemons, 26 goals for him this year. Sisto with 21 in the midfield, all chipped in, whether it was Goodmanson, Onoma, Hurtado, Eric. We've got Chambers came in and got 5 goals for us as well. Riva early in the season, McGinn getting some goals to his name too, and assists is a very similar story. Lemons there, what a performance he had this year, really did. 10 assists. Riva had 10 it didn't play that many minutes comparatively. If you look at the minutes between, let's compare the two of them. In fact, we can maybe do it this way. If you look at Goodmanson and Riva side by side in what they did statistically this year, it's quite an interesting tale, really. Of course, Riva started the year with plenty more appearances. Certainly found the groove in this division a little clearer. But when it comes down to it, goals and assists wise, we were getting far more out of Goodmanson towards the back end of the season. Key pass is very, very similar, although Riva just takes it. There's a 0.01 in it on that one. Shots on target percentage, pass completion, they're very similar as well. So yeah, two very, very capable footballers that I just think I changed around at the right time. And instead of having one player be great all year or dropping off, we had 2 players bang on it when the time came. So yeah, really, really impressive from the pair of them. In terms of average rating then, who was most consistent over the course of the year? Well, it's not surprising, is it really? Goodmanson, Lemons and Sisto, all fantastic. CS, Onoma, Morgan, maybe go under the radar a little bit in terms of that. But yeah, fantastic years from all of them. And now I really want to find out, viewers, what's happening with this takeover? Some really fantastic performances across the board from our boys, though, I've got to say. Like, I've had a tough time as Boston manager. And we had some standout performers in a few of the years on promotion. But I tell you what, we've come in here at Villa and they've been bang on it straight away. Even last year when we went down, I was confident. I think I said in one of the earlier episodes when we were here, as stadium expansion plans, it's now 50,000. They're making it even bigger. It'll take 5 months to complete. And we're going for a 50,000 grass synthetic mix. No roof will be done, but it'll be done by the 24th of October. At the very start then, £35 million will be the cost. That's pretty big. And for a management that are about to probably leave and let someone else take over, that's a bold choice. Apparently Onoma wants a new contract and he's disappointed he's not been offered one. He's got a year left. What's your issue, mate? I'm going to say it completely slipped my mind, which he's pleased about. And yeah, we'll see if we can get him on some decent terms. Not those sons. We'll come back to that maybe. Will this develop, this takeover business? I don't know. The Championship playoffs are still going on, actually. I'm surprised we found out the information we did before that. Villa set to lose Goodmanson because of his release fee. 21.5 million, of course, brought in on a free. It doesn't currently say anyone's interested in him, so let's just hope no one cares for him. I mean, I care about him. Looks like it's going to be Blackburn, I think. Is it? Or Nottingham Forest? Is that the semi-final? It is the semi-final, so it's going to be Nottingham Forest or Crystal Palace will join us in the Premier League. For sentimental reasons of it being like when I first started watching football, I'd quite like Forest back in there. Sorry, Palace fans. It's nothing against you. I think you've had your chance recently, haven't you? Let's get Forest in there. Of course, the team as well. A lot of you wanted me to take over when the time came. Manchester United win the FA Cup as well. Let's just take a quick look at the Premier League table. Who will be there then? Chelsea, champions. Bit surprising, actually. And Leicester ousting the general top six. Tottenham fall in that particular stakes then, and you can see a lot of familiar faces in the Premier League. No one really that surprising outside of, well, us next year? Maybe not. Villa fans won't like that. Sorry, Villa fans. I don't mean it in that fashion, obviously. I mean compared to who's in the Premier League right now. I guess really Villa are in the Premier League right now. We've replicated, in a sense, the promotion that Villa fans have enjoyed and appreciated. There's a few other bits and pieces coming in then, commercial summaries and things like that. Of course, without the Premier League last year, a lot of those things are way down, which is obviously a little bit of an issue. Sisto selling the most amount of shirts. We've got to try and keep this guy around, I feel like, as well as the other familiar faces. Lemons, though, not on that list. Not loved by the fans. Viewers, are you a fan of Lemons? Or are you a bit bitter about it? That works on every level. Because Lemons are bitter like that, you know? I'm going to have to turn the fan on, viewers. It's too hot in this room. I've gone for double power as well. So, there we go. It's on. If you can hear a buzzing of a fan, I can only apologise. But I tell you, softbox, general light. The fact I've not got this one on, I mean, is a miracle as well. It is warm in this room right now. And he's left it on. I've left it on. Why would you leave it on? Is there a Russian tycoon out there, viewers? That's the question. I just noticed there, I don't think you saw it on the screen, but yeah, there you are. Crystal Palace are going to join us in the Premier League then. So it's going to be Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and is it Cardiff, I think, did it eventually? We can never find out. This is the most awkward screen, isn't it? Oh, Cardiff, it is Cardiff. There we are, confirmed. Tagaard had the second most amount of clean sheets as well. Didn't give him the credit earlier on. Now, what about this takeover? Oh, forget the takeover, viewers. Hello, it's all kicked. Oh, look what we've seen. Congratulate Sisto on his award. Well done. Player of the Year. Did very, very well. Deserving as well. Lemons gets top goal scorer with 22 goals as well. He's loving life. Level with a couple of other guys, I think, but still very, very good. Very, very impressive. Morgan gets young player of the year. We've swept this, viewers. We've swept it. And the big one's coming up. You can all see it. Yes! I've won manager of the year! Oh, this is a big moment for me, viewers. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been through the mill of it in the last couple of seasons, and I've proven myself once again. And in terms of the team of the year for the Championship, there's only 3 players that aren't ours. So CS can feel a little bit aggrieved. The right side was probably a little bit questionable. And yeah, maybe Goodmanson can see himself a little bit unlucky. I think Goodmanson, by the way, had the top average rating in the division. Doesn't make it into the team, though. So harsh. We're announcing the profit, £65 million profit. The main reason for that, viewers, of course, is that I sold everybody. So that went really well. Still 100 million in the balance sheets. How many promoted sides got, by the way, with 100 million in the balance? That's going to be quite fun next year. It should give us a right war chest to go out the Premier League with next season. I don't know if we're going to find out about the takeover. So what we're going to do is we're going to end things here. We're going to give it the next bit of news. If it comes up, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I will reveal to you next episode what the plans are. Of course, Stadium expansion has been announced. Some of the player awards as well towards the end we've got to get a hold of as well. 4 bits of news. Is there any news? There's no news. There's just that guy that apparently would like to join us. This guy at Bristol City who's just been relegated. Well, maybe think about it. 20 or 32 million, mate. You're off your rocker, mate. Have you got a release fee? 40 million. Ding dong. Hello. We'll have to see what happens with Apostolov. I quite like that, actually. Atanas Apostolov. Oh, okay, maybe. That's going to be it to the end of viewers. If you've enjoyed this end of season special, do give it a like. And if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You're still wondering now, what made it so special, Ben? I'll tell you what. All of it.